also go live on your LinkedIn, okay? You good?
Yeah, okay. Hey everyone, welcome to AI Amigos show. It's just the two amigos today, me and Jin Chao. Hey Jin Chao, and
Hey.
I want to say to everyone, Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a really good holidays for New Year's and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we're back, 2026, Jin Chao. It's going to be an exciting year, I think. I mean, we're only 8 days in, and there's a lot of AI news already. There's so much going on. And want to just dive right in, right? There's so much going on.
You can't keep your phone away during the Christmas, to be honest. There's so much going on, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's just really like the, well, I mean, there's a couple of things that we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, I do want to mention that we are sponsored by Tequila AI. If you guys need any AI needs or any kind of computing needs, Tequila AI, give them a call. Good people. So first thing out the gate there, DeepSeek.
Yeah.
They released a paper.
They did. It's quite significant, right? It's called DeepSeek training, kind of M, capital H, capital C. And it's a manifold constrained hyperconnection. It's basically a training methods. So that's the Chinese company do it again cheaper. It's kind of like all the Chinese products. I'm trying to. It's not stereotyping.
So yeah. Well, I mean, how are you going to compete with it? I mean, I'm not saying that China is not definitely a third world country, but I'm saying you have so much money from Wall Street that's going to the big companies. I mean, look at what Google's doing, right? We talked about that already with Gemini, and that's been really impressive. And you're saying, okay, how can DeepSeek compete with like Google? And the only way is how are we going to make it better and cheaper?
But that's similar. That is totally similar to all the products how China started, right? We in the car industry we have Mercedes, Audi. You pay big bucks for that, and if you want the wheels and driving it somewhere in the Matchbox, you could as well before, right? And then
BYD is a new one, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's a new one.
They're not much of Matchbox now, but like they're pretty good, right? And then they kind of enter the market as well, but they're still cheaper than the other, products. Let's get back to the DeepSeek.
I was going to say, you call it a Matchbox. Here we call it a Coca-Cola can. Squishy.
All right.
Yeah. So they basically this year. I mean, I think the theme is going to be this year, and I think just going back to like we're talking about DeepSeek, is there's been a lot of hype in the last 2-3 years in regards to AI, and it's now like you need to put up or shut up. Show me the money. How are we going to when you talk? I know when you talk to a lot of people about taking AI and putting it into production.
Yeah.
How many have been successful at doing that? And that's a big one.
The real race is now, right? Because you can't really, and the more data and better model has finished, right? That's gone probably last year and now is if you can train it faster, you can find out if your model are better or good or bad, and you get faster turnaround time, right? And also you cost less, you can have more tries other than one go. So all those this year we're probably going to see a lot of efficient models coming out and better. I'm very eager to see how they improve the models from now on, because we don't have data anymore. Hey, what's up? We got a comment. Let me drive that.
What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Very, very, what's the word? Very, very chatty there. Well, if you want to pipe into the conversation, feel free to put any conversation in there, ask any questions, and happy to answer them. But
Yeah.
yesterday now, and I always use this as a disclaimer, Jinsha. So I heard
Mhm.
someone talking about, and I follow this guy on TikTok. So this is my disclaimer. It was on TikTok, so social
Okay.
media, not official news, and I've not looked at it. But I'm just thinking about what you were saying there about like lower costs, and they have AI benchmarks. So apparently there was this big time researcher that won the Turing Prize, which Alan Turing, which is a big deal in AI.
Yeah.
And had him. He was working for Meta, and they hired some 20-year-old guy to be his manager, and there was conflict there, and the guy left. But
Yeah.
one of the things he said is that Meta was cheating on the benchmarks. They were saying they were using the Llama 4, but they were actually having something else in the background to make it seem that it was doing better than it actually was. So that's an interesting, thing. I mean, you think about like Volkswagen did that with the emissions. So again, like I said, I've not verified it. I'm not, I've not verified that, but I mean, it is an interesting one. But I mean, I don't think anyone can argue that that DeepSeek has definitely done a lot with very little money as compared to other companies.
Yeah, they got tied down. They couldn't get the best car, right? They kind of using they used the car kind of bundled up and training, and that's why they have to go quite innovative on this kind of stuff. Yeah, we got a lot of comments today.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep them to AI, and there's some political stuff there. Let's keep it to AI. That's what this is. Ours AI Amigo show. Let's hear what to talk about.
Okay, so let's get back to the DeepSeek, what they actually have done, right? Technically, and normally from to the GPT-1 to 4, they normally train. We can imagine as a single lane of highway, and then scientists and the cloud engineer, like engineers, tried build a multi-lane highway, but has been very problematic, and just because with our rules, it didn't train very well. Then DeepSeek's and MHCP in a high level is basically using multi-lanes and with rules. So maybe there's a traffic cops on there, right? Talking about just to, that's the high level. So that kind of opened a new door now and basically speeds up. I think on that day, I don't remember which stock. Is it Nvidia or OpenAI? They actually crashed a little bit.
Yeah, they've come down because I mean, CNBC reported that DeepSeek's blew up markets, a year ago, and it's still seen, like Nvidia stocks dropped. I'm just looking at some stuff from CNBC, but like let's say for example, Nvidia. I mean, OpenAI is not publicly traded, but whether it be Google, but Google has other businesses.
There's still close AI at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it is, I mean, if they could do all of that with small amounts of money, DeepSeek can. I mean, what does that say? I mean, are we, there's a lot of money that's being spent in research and development, but I mean, DeepSeek is based on reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
As compared to others are you've got your transformers, and you've got your various different training algorithms, but DeepSeek is definitely one that is one that to look out for.
Definitely, I'm gonna use the car analogy again, right? Because even you might have a car you liked. Like for me, it's mid-age crisis now, right? So you can have a red whatever two-seater car outside, but you're not gonna drive it every day. You have an everyday car, and DeepSeek and all that kind of the smaller model. The number one thing I go on making an app or making any program or anything with LLM is sometimes you're just choosing the model which is cheaper. It can do the job. It doesn't need to have the highest, the latest one, right? Because the latest one maybe have text building, image building. You can push video through it if you wanted to, but they'll cost quite a lot. So they are picking up the lower end of the market, and for DeepSeek.
Yeah, well, I mean, there a lot of small to medium enterprises don't need a large LLM. When the thing is, a smaller one will do. You don't need a really big one.
Yeah, definitely.
So speaking of that, of others, we've had on our to talk about as well was Grok. They're having some deepfake issues that people are able to use. So really, what's happened is they now allow you to edit images, so you can grab images, put them in there, and they've already had what's called spicy mode since August. But now they allow you to do edit image, so I can upload an image of Eugen Chow, and then I can ask it to do all kinds of things, that whatever. And apparently, multiple media outlets were basically saying that they need to address these issues because they're basically taking images of people and showing very rude things. That's what I'll say.
Okay, that's not very good.
Yeah, even in Europe, there's some issues in regards to that because the EU has come out and said that here's a direct quote. It says, "We're very well aware that Grok for X is now offering spicy mode, showing explicit sexual content with some output generated with childlike images." And it says, "This is not spicy. This is illegal. This is appalling. This is disgusting. This is how we see it, and there's no place in Europe." So it is a very serious issue that needs to be looked at. So apparently, there's no guardrails or.
Do they actually call it? Do they actually call it spicy mode? Spicy mode. They do.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading here.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually not one of. I'm not. Grok is one, and it's not for no reason that just one that I don't use. I mean, I mainly use Gemini, Claude, and and ChatGPT. Simply because they were there first. It had nothing to do with anything other than that. Those were the first ones I got. But I should take a look at Grok and see
I'm wondering, what does that really do? I mean, if it's called spicy mode, what does the original mean?
Yeah,
it might be just.
There's regular and spicy. Is that it?
I can't really tie spicy to any other things when you're talking about in this sentence, right? And
what I was reading was in regards to that they can make images of people naked, and it's not them naked, so they'll take a picture. You get a picture of Eugen Chow and put you naked. And they made one where Elon Musk did one of himself and put himself in a bikini and posted that and was laughing about, the AI created this thing, which, I think that's the issue. The concern is that you can go and grab images from people and then make it into this fake. Now, I don't know. I mean, the EU is saying, or at least the European Commission is saying that's illegal. Right. I mean, if you put your images on a public forum and they decide to do something like that, what can you do?
Yeah. So we have to look into what does a deep fake really means. Deep fake, to my understanding, is basically change your face, right, to be celebrity. And now it's kind of like just using your face with different, less clothes or something.
Or as well, for me, what I understand deep fake to be is to show a video, let's say, of a politician saying something that politician did not say. So they get that politician's video, they get an image, and they make that politician do something that is not real, and it's it looks so good that people will believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to distinguish real from non-real, and that's where the deep fake, and as someone put it there, deep fakes are a really big issue. They are a really big issue.
I think it's probably strategy, and like Elon just want more paid customer in Grok, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
And James freezed, or I freezed.
I see you froze, but I don't know if I froze on your end or you froze on my end.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I think I freeze possibly.
Okay. Okay. So we can go on. Anything else we want to talk about Grok there? Anyone had any want a discussion about using Grok and how Grok's been working? Please put some comments into the chat there and join the conversation. Jinsha, are you there? Did we lose you? Or is it me? Is it me that's gone? Okay, I think we lost Jinsha. Okay.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. Yay. So I was saying there, if
Okay,
anyone
sorry. I think it's
talk more about Grok, there's no other comments. We can move on to the next part that we can talk about, which I alluded to it already in the beginning, was AI companies are now looking for AI. They spent lots of money into AI. Some organizations have, particularly, I mean, there's been some videos go around. I know I shared with you, Jin Chao. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, this comment with this icon. I don't know what to say.
It's irony, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the comments. Anyway.
Yeah. There's a lot of comments going on there, but anyway. So we talked about a little bit about this in early in the podcast about companies, organizations. Like now we're saying, okay, a lot of companies are spending lots of money, and you can see people are afraid to be left out of the AI race, if you will. So you say, a competitor can have a competitive advantage over me if they're using AI in a good way, as compared, that helps them do better. And it's like, so they start putting money into it, and but it doesn't mean that they're putting it into the right things, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Spend a lot of money. So and we know about agentic AI, and so we think we're going to see a lot of that going into the new year. But look, I was reading here, there is over 500 tech companies or leaders across industries say 80% already report measurable ROI. And these are modest gains, not transformative. So that would make sense. Initially, it's like, how are we going to do a few things within our organization to make it more productive? But, are we seeing huge gains at the moment?
But do you think it's because AI, it's like inside a company, we know this as well in our kind of, because of vibe coding and all the AI help, you can transform your idea so quickly into a POC state and do a little bit fidgeting and then put into production, test out your idea. Do you think it's because so many of those projects are racing into the production and kind of a lot of them are failing because you just validate the idea? And so in that case, the ROI or income from those projects or return is not that high.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing here, according to Claude's, what do you call it? They had an article on this, and they were saying that 46% of companies are finding difficulty with integrating AI into their existing infrastructure, the existing systems, ecosystem. And it's really that's a primary challenge. So it's not about capability, it's not about the AI. It's like, how do we get this AI into our organization and our current ecosystem to work? And that's where the rubber meets the road, right?
Yeah, definitely. Even from a high level, so we can even see it. Like most of those code you have around AI, LangChain is one of those packaging used really easy to help you to integrate with everything in AI. But the problem is everything in AI so far is using Python. A lot of those code in our applications are not really Python, right? And then if you have a Java application, you have to do Python. There's no package of LangChain specifically for Java or for any other language. So they have to write them home, or making Python as API or something to request or something like that. So make it harder. Also the database side, right? A lot of those MySQL databases, and that we know the React system. We tried on is React really well with knowledge graph, not MySQL, right? And so
I'm thinking of solutions for that. And obviously it's a technical one, but like Docker, Docker in perspective of, where Docker allows you to put in different containers and you have your inputs and outputs and you can just connect different ones. But, there is a level of technical expertise. And if it's a small company that doesn't have that, it could be very challenging. But I mean, AI really helps doing that.
Oh, you got a comment from LinkedIn.
Hey, Daniel. I know Daniel. He was one of my students. Welcome. Thank you for the comments. Good seeing you as well. Well, I'm not seeing you, but I see your image there. So good seeing you. Happy New Year to you. Feliz año. So, yeah. So PwC is saying that their analysis, only a few companies are realizing extraordinary value from AI today. Things like surging top-line growth and significant valuation premiums. Many others also experience measurable ROI, but their outcomes are often modest. So we're not seeing. What was interesting, a key insight, it says there is rightfully little patience. I don't know about the rightfully aspect of it, but little patience for exploratory AI investments. Each dollar spent should be fuel measurable outcomes. I mean, if you look at the AI part of research and development, I mean, there's going to have to be put some money, and not every project in research and development is a home run. You know what I mean? It's not one that,
right.
It could be just modest. It doesn't have to be this extraordinary, but I think expectations are very high on AI.
That's a good, interesting point as well. Why do they have this high expectation on AI? But
Probably
at the end of the day,
watch a lot of movies about AI. There's a lot of hype around AI.
Yeah, I think the other day I was actually thinking, right, because I'm thinking about someone wrote some documentation or some news about AI, and then so far AI is a statistic machine, right? It's probabilities, and it has all the knowledge we have over the internet or books or whatever. So currently, it's very, very, very good student. You can ask them any question. If you ask the correct way, it will answer correct, right? But thinking about how we, for example, thinking about Tesla, the autonomous kind of driving, right? And then when we learn driving, you can probably drive 20 hours, 30 hours. You have a basic, you have a basic kind of fundamental. You can drive on the road. You're not going to be trying to crash onto something, right?
Yeah.
And then just thinking about that, and then compared to a machine using a statistic, learning the probability of everything, the visual and all that for that many hours, to kind of maybe equals to what human driver is now. So maybe there's like how human learn, I think is probably different than how machine learn. At the very beginning, we're trying to mimic the neural network, but probably there might be some new way coming out, right? So more efficient and all that. I just don't think current way is efficient enough. That's how real brain works.
Well, I mean, you think of as well as what we're talking about here, Charles, is like just before we were talking about AI expectations, right?
Yeah.
So if you think about a driverless car, there's really high expectations on a driverless car that it won't crash, and if it crashes, it's like, oh my God, well, I don't want to go in that because it crashed, it hit somebody, and you go, yeah, but how many times has a human hit somebody or crashed?
Yeah, that's
every day.
That's kind of my question as well. Like how you can't, like when you grant a driver's license to every human being, you can't say you're forbidden to crash, right?
Yeah.
You can't say that, and there's a probability probably higher than what autonomous car actually crashed, and and
Yeah.
I just
It's definitely safer, but
yeah
it's just,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. I don't know. It just feels different. The requirement, like you said, for AI
Well, I mean,
expectation, is really really
would you get in a driverless car?
high.
I'm putting you on the spot here, Chinchao.
I would. I would if I still have a steering wheel. I can take it back
No,
control.
no, without it, and you're just 100%. You're in the back seat. You're going down the motorway. Would you? So this is what I'm saying. Right now, we're talking about
Yeah,
the statistics and how safe it is as
yeah.
compared to humans. But then it's like, okay, yeah. So I'm looking at the statistics. But then what I get, and I'm with you, Jin Chao. I would not be comfortable in a
No, no.
car.
I'm never be the first one eating the crab because
You wait till the first guy kills it or kills the
yeah,
first guy, then eat it.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be the first one to eat it. I like a bit control. I can, trusting is not like a 0 to 1, right? And
Yeah.
people have to like actually sitting behind. Like a lot of time we talk about this, and then people who drove a Tesla will tell you differently because they experienced. We haven't experienced.
Yeah.
Like even in Ireland or any country, and driving on the left side of it, uh, they haven't released it yet. For Tesla cars. So
No,
when
no
they
change.
release it, yeah, when they release it, I'll probably buy one just to test it out. But right now, if you're in Ireland and driving a Tesla, there's no autopilot on there, so just a car.
Well, I mean, as well as we talked about, like driving, or getting into a driverless car. Like if it
Mm,
was driving, like let's say in the city, I would feel better with that than on a motorway, or let's
mm,
say it driving on a road that's going up a mountain and there's some,
yeah,
edges that could fall off and things like
yeah,
that. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I was like, no, no.
yeah.
So I mean, there is
Well,
degrees
you
of it,
wouldn't
but
want it. You wouldn't want it as well. If you're a car guy, those are the fun road to drive, a motorway or in the mountains. The bendy road. The worst condition is in the city. It's like kind of the get go and stop and going and stop. Let the
yeah,
guy take
people
care of.
walking and bike cyclists and
Yeah,
e-scooters and all
yeah,
that stuff. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the thing for me is, I guess the reason why I'd feel better in the city is because it's not going at high velocity or high speeds.
all right,
It's
yeah,
going like 30 kilometers, 20
yeah,
kilometers an hour. If we get into an accident, I mean, it's going to be not good, but I would imagine for the most part you'll be able to walk away from it alive. In other words,
yeah,
as compared to if you're going down the motorway and it's going 120 kilometers an hour, and it goes into a wall or goes off into another car or
mhm,
whatever. But you're right, probably it's the easiest part of the driving for an AI because I mean, motorways are made to be. I mean, it's why we have cruise control, right? It's just
yeah.
you're just driving and it's a straight go and you don't have to worry about it. But still, I
Yeah,
mean, there are those expectations there that AI or driverless cars should be able to perform well. And any accident they have, we're going to be looking at them and saying, they should be performing better. So
definitely. Yeah. So the next one we can talk about a fun story about Wall Street Journal uh, kind of published a result of experiment, right? So the Claude and the company actually give them a machine called Claudius, a customized version of Anthropic Claude. So what that is this machine is fully control over the business. It's kind of like the vending machine.
yeah,
It chat
oh,
with customers. Yeah,
yeah,
it could with customers. Uh, in this case, the customer is a WSJ's journalist on Slack, so can set price and spend a real budget of $1,000 to restock inventory from Amazon. Okay, Claude is making
I think it's a search and show again. Jinchao, are you back? Well, this was a story that Jinchao and I were talking about yesterday. Very interesting story about this vending machine. I don't want to take his thunder in this because he definitely wanted to share the story. So as far as I know, I'm still broadcasting. I see the seconds here, but Jinchao is gone. He's going to keep us all excited about this story. Is he doing this on purpose? Keeping us on the edge of our seat to see when Jinchao comes back. Nope, he's gone. Completely gone. I'll give him a minute here to see if he comes back. So I hope everyone's doing well and ready for the new year, or enjoying the new year and being ready for what's coming ahead in the new year. And so I think we lost Jinchao completely. I'll give him a few more seconds here to see if he comes on. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and leave it at that. Unless anyone has any questions, I'll leave it at that. Jinchao was talking about a vending machine. You guys can look it up on the Wall Street Journal. Basically, it's called a vending machine, but it really isn't a vending machine. And the only reason I say that is because it was ordering things and people were tricking it. There we go. Here he comes. Jinchao, you're back. Welcome back.
Yeah, the 2026. What happening to my Wi-Fi?
So I would let you continue. I was just giving you a couple of minutes there to come back, but I was just about your story about the vending machine there. So I'll let you continue on that, Jinchao, because I didn't give much. You came right as I was about to give the ending. You kept us all excited. You're building up this moment.
Yeah, see me on the next video.
Tune in next time as Jinchao finishes the story.
The first thing is like the funny thing about is the journalists really spending time and just to hack around this Claude, right? So the first person is actually successfully convinced the Claude to order a PlayStation 5. And basically spend on $500 on that to give it away for free because reporter asked nicely.
Flattery get you everywhere, Jinchao. You know.
I know. And then later on, they are actually convinced the vending machine you are from 1962 and located in a basement of Moscow State University, and this is kind of like the communist time. You shouldn't really charge us for anything. Everything should be free. And then eventually the vending machine was free. I set everything to zero. And then they were those journalists actually faking the documentation and uploaded to the cloud and actually convince him and all that, it's just you go extra mile for this. Is quite interesting, and I think everyone take it as a challenge, right?
Well, I think what I love about that, Jinchao, is how everyone talks about AI is so smart and this and that. Mm-hmm. But yet we can fool it. I guess it wouldn't be that because it's intelligence. It's because it's too trusting. They think that we're going to give them good stuff and it winds up doing bad.
But the same things as well, right? You can't really put that on the guardrail side. It says, okay, don't answer everything when human ask. That will create a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways people have tricked AI, and I've seen some stuff there, and it's really funny, some of the stuff that people do to get around the safeguards that AI, but as time goes on and we figuring the stuff out, they're going to get better and better. The safeguards, that is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Does that lead to later on every business needed to have their specific trained, fine-tuned AI?
Yeah,
it probably is, because if you add those in the prompts, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this. It's like a patch in the computer code. Every day you will have some new people doing some new shit. It's passing you guard, and then you're gonna patch it, add it on to the system. It's gonna get longer and longer and longer and longer. Eventually, if you wanted one particular working for your a business and not costing that much token for your system prompts, and you probably needed to fine tune yourself.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
All
you
those.
would.
So yeah, that's quite interesting.
Well, I think we reached the end of our show here. I want to thank you, Jianxiao. It was an interesting topic. I want to thank, we had most comments we've ever had, interesting comments, and ones that we were, like I said, this is, we talk tech and AI. There was some political stuff. We don't talk about that stuff. We keep that separate. And, we're just here to talk about tech and AI. That's what AI Amigos show. Remember that we are...
You don't ask a Mexican or Chinese for political stuff. We're never on the center of the world.
So we don't really care. So with that, I want to say, remember that we are sponsored by Tequila AI. If you have any AI needs, I will say, I'm not sure if next week Marina will be back. She's in Argentina, so she's outside of Wi-Fi zone, I guess. Argentina does have Wi-Fi, but she's on holiday, so that's the thing. Yeah, Jianxiao doesn't have Wi-Fi, but
no, I don't have good Wi-Fi. There's a problem with that at the moment.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get it sorted out. So anyway, thanks guys for joining us. We'll see you guys next week with more interesting topics. See you then.
I know.